already done a video showing what Jalen Milroe did to Georgia's defense and how Alabama was able to score what it did. But overall, Brent, Alabama didn't score a lot of points, and Georgia had a lot of good highlights in this game, and we want to show a few of those here to kind of end our Georgia-Alabama SEC Film Don't Lie coverage on a bit of a high note for what there is to see from Georgia's defense, because there was some good things out there to point out.
One of the things I thought before the game was I thought Bama couldn't get to 30. I thought there was no chance they would get to 30 unless Georgia helped them immensely, and I thought Georgia could. Well, they didn't quite get there. They get to 30, they win the game, unfortunately. But there was a lot of good. There was some sort of back and forth with me with just, all right, are we being aggressive versus not being aggressive, and how you're playing Milroe. We kind of talked about that with him. And like I said, this is one of those games where, to me, I would have lived on that extreme, especially as the game got into the second half, of just coming at him as much as possibly can.
We're presented by Breda Pest Management, ASW Distillery. This play is presented by Jalon Walker, which you're going to hear that a lot here.
Yes, he had a pretty good game. He played 12 snaps. You can do with that what you will.
That's not a whole lot of snaps in a football game.
Out of 60-something, I think it was. 66 maybe, or something like that.
And this is as a double spy with Sori.
And he had 7 pass rush snaps. He had 5 pressures in those 7 pass rush snaps. So quite productive. Also, you see the freshman, Gabe Harris, Damon Wilson on the edge. This was one of the 3 plays that they played in the game.
That's curious. It's a good fact. We'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Good fact to note. There's Jalon Walker.
Great start, by the way. And
it was.
You know, I think I saw Roddy tweeted something like Georgia scored first. The run was great, or something like that, and he, ended up being right on that.
Didn't see a ton of pressure on Milroe, but here's one where he did.
Like, by the way, like, that's again Walker, just an instant win, forcing him to just kind of throw the ball away almost here, and that's not trust for Georgia. That's likely not going to be drafted. That's J.C. Latham that's going to be a first-round pick for Bama. He abuses right there pretty good.
That'll be on some NFL tape for Jalon Walker right now.
Yes. Or what will happen is the Jordan Reeds or the Dayne Brookers of the world, they'll say, I've been watching the right tackle's tape, and I can't stop watching this number 11 beating him.
And then next year, preseason.
Be on the lookout for
kind of thing.
Yeah, those tweets. Those will be coming.
But you force Milroe to maybe operate a little bit faster than he wanted to, and then he just kind of throws it away here.
And looking at this sort of numbers, Milroe was pressured on 38% of his dropbacks. When he was pressured, he was 1 of 5 for 13 yards.
Yeah.
4 sacks.
Did not complete a pass in the first quarter.
Nope. That was amazing. Like, I looked down at the box score and was like, oh, wow.
Now we have more Jalon, and this time low of Raylan too.
This is what I thought Georgia would do more of, is just bring everybody to the line of scrimmage and make him speed his clock up. This is amazing by him to get out of the pocket, 1, and then 2, the throw, it's out of bounds, it's no shot, but it still at least gives some level of chance. But again, I thought we'd see more of this. I need to go back and kind of chart how much they did this sort of full out stand-up blitz look. Because to me, you can still drop and spy out of that and confuse an offensive line and get quick pressure. They mostly would do it on third down if they did, but like I said, I would have wanted to see this even more so, especially with him, especially with some of the personnel packages they were using.
Credit him too. Phenomenal throw.
Yep.
A little out of bounds, but even get that close with what Georgia put in front of them.
And Dan Jackson playing some man coverage right there.
Yeah, we got Dan here. It's off the line. And then you pointed this out when we were going through this earlier. Look where 24 is.
Yep.
Did you think you'd have Dan on the line with Starks kind of playing a star hybrid rush backup? Like,
yep.
Yeah. Football's out of bounds. Georgia made a good play.
And you defensively, for the most part, owned the early part of the game. You punt them deep in their territory. And this is what was, I think, what changed the entire complexion of the game is from this point, through the end of the half. Obviously, the end of the half and the 7 points, we hit that in the video. But Bama started going right at you in the run game and getting whatever they wanted. And right here, Georgia runs what I guess is a run stunt with Ingram Dawkins, and CJ Allen gets caught with his eyes. Would be my guess. Like, don't necessarily know call, but instantly watch Ingram Dawkins go back to the snap a little bit. He's the right defensive end. Instantly shoots into the inside of the B gap, inside the tackle. Instantly works inside the tackle. So to me, that's like, okay, you need to who's the C gap player. I would think that would be 33, but with the action there, I mean, maybe not, but it still led to a and they just started. And Bama actually did something from a scheme standpoint. They did a lot of inserts where that H back would come right down the middle, in between, in and around the center guard area, that they hadn't really shown a lot of, at least in a lot of in the bigger games that I've seen that we watched previewing the game. So little unique stuff where like, hey, we think our size and our strength in the middle is better than Georgia's, and they were able to do some things with it.
Other player that really wanted to highlight, Javon Bullard, have yourself a day, my friend. It was fantastic.
Yeah, like there was an illegal man downfield. He was like 5 yards downfield in this, and it got called and declined. But this is still a heck of a play because Milroe's again just kind of playing backyard ball and reads that, makes a play. Outside of Jalon Walker, Bullard was the second highest graded player in the game, and definitely, like you said, put some great tape out there.
2nd and 10. This is just before scoring. Near the end of the half here.
The 3rd and 21, and then the 4th and 4. This is a phenomenal effort from Warren Brinson. Like, he had to fight through a bunch of guys and then just lays out, like fights through the center, works around the center, works around guard center to combo there, and then just dives and makes a phenomenal sack.
I was a bit surprised they didn't have the fake pitch run up inside like Georgia had struggled with all year long. I was surprised that. I guess
like some QB draw type stuff.
Yeah, this scenario may not have called for that 2nd and 10, trying to find a way to score points and kill clock at the same time. But
what's interesting too is like if Milroe quickly realizes that Raylan Wilson is hanging around him too much and just flips it to the back, there's nobody at the back. Raylan Wilson realizes, crud, I got to go cover that guy.
I think Georgia fans after this sack felt really, 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 really good. The next play, they give up.
3rd and 21, give up 17 yards.
3rd and 21, give up 17, give up the 4th and 4, and then, So this is probably the high of, Georgia thinks it's likely about to get the ball back and can try to double up on Alabama, and in a perfect world, be up 21-10. And, just didn't go that way.
No, it did not.
So great defensive play here. The 2 after this, not as great. You can see those in our Milroe video. Little pop pass.
This is the horse collar. It didn't lead to points. I don't think they scored on this drive, but
so
I'm just going to watch it to watch coach.
Yeah, Kirby says no, not that. His own shoulder. I promise you, it's not that. I've been telling you that. I'm an honest man. See,
this is what a horse collar is. You got to go back here.
You have a collar. I just pointed at it. I'm going to look up at the screen. They're not showing it yet. You're not going to call this penalty because they were grabbing here. It's exactly.
Please tell me you talked about it.
Yeah, could grab either side. Oh no! How, no! I told you that's a horse collar right there. You didn't see what I was doing that whole time.
He's right. Like the thing is, he's right. What's amazing about it? So go back to right. So stop right there. Stop. The guy on the right, he's right there. Not him. Back. He's back on the field here. This guy staring right at it. Doesn't call it. The white hat from way back here. Where's the flag?
And Kirby saw him pulling for it instantly. Like Kirby knew to look that way. Shouldn't have been bad, collar, but it was.
No,
they called it. This was a critical.
Georgia comes back and win, potentially play the game.
Yeah. So, Jalon Walker, hello. We've already seen you do this,
and he did it again. By the way, not once, but twice, and right in his lap. Bullard keeps fighting. I like watching it live because that's the press box is kind of up like diagonal from where the ball was caught. I was like, oh, that's a touchdown. And Bullard, phenomenal job. I thought he even still caught it, by the way, but for a second, but he didn't. It was a heck of a play by Bullard. And obviously Walker with his 7 pass rush snaps and 5 pressures.
I mean, realize the trail coverage here that we've seen in 2 plays. It's fantastic work.
Yep.
I don't know what his NFL future looks like. I'm sure they wish he'd have a bit more size, but you just can't really teach some of his football instincts.
No, and that's one where it maybe keeps him out of the first round because of that. But top 50 player.
And a guy that I think stays in the league for a while as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, well, as long as he can cover in the slot. Like, it's such a different game.
Yeah. I can see him helping on special teams with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. All right. Let's this is a fun one to me because this is more Bullard, but we don't often get to see this from the defensive perspective here. So just watch what Bullard has to recognize. This is on 3rd down too. So this is
3rd and long.
Yeah.
Again, they almost made it.
So this is just
close.
A little recognition of like tight end's gonna block here and then release and then come open field. Good safety play. Nothing special on tape about it other than I think it's cool to see that angle.
Yes, and he made, like I said, he had a phenomenal game. He definitely, in terms of, like I said, highest graded defender other than Jalon Walker, and deservedly so.
So overall, Georgia's defense, I don't know that it did quite enough, especially early in this game. I thought second quarter, really that second drive, that drive at the end of the second quarter where Alabama gets aggressive, the one we talked about where you get 17 yards, you make it 4th and 4, and go for it there. If Georgia's defense gets a stop on either of those, and I get fans are going to say, well, they did because Bond dropped it and it wasn't reviewed, fine. But if Georgia gets a stop there, changes the complexion of the game, and they didn't.
In the 4th quarter too, like you got within 3, and then Bama had 115 yards and scored a touchdown, and then ran out the clock. Played really well for the most part, but just not quite good enough. And the biggest thing for me was Alabama's ability to get what they want. You didn't force a lot of 3rd and longs. I need to go back and look at it specifically, but I thought there was a potential to force a lot of 3rd and longs and do what they did where they can come after him, make him get rid of the ball quick, things like that. And it just wasn't the case.
People instantly start talking about, is this Nick Saban's best coaching job at Bama? And it's really hard to compare those. One, he's been there forever, but 2, like, how do you compare year to year? I will say this is such a different style and game plan than what they were doing with 4 first-round receivers and Mac Jones. Like, it's the most polar opposite thing there is. And I think that in itself shows a willingness to, we're going to do what we have, what works well around that. And I think that's phenomenal coaching.
Yeah, you can see it that he's put his team in the best position to be successful.
Now, I think he had to learn how to do that for the first month of the season because they weren't doing that early. They were struggling against South Florida. They benched Jalen Milroe. They could have lost to Auburn, probably should have, but you know.
And that's why I said in the preseason, like when we did our around the league talk, that if Bill O'Brien was still their offensive coordinator, I would have thought they were going to lose 3 or 4 games.
Yeah,
I think Reese being the offensive coordinator and him having some, the running game stuff, the power, the 12 personnel, all that stuff, that fit this team for Alabama better.
Well, the office decor behind you lets us know that we have reached December and you have updated what's going on back there. So I needed to make sure, and I think there's a Santa list over your other filter.
It says, Dear Santa, before I explain, how much do you already know?
Oh, Santa knows all, my friend. And Film Don't Lie knows a lot, and that's because we're able to invest the time in it because Breda Pest Management, BredaPest.com, and ASW Distillery, distilled by dogs, they invest in us. So support those folks. They're really kind people. And this is our last Film Don't Lie recording of, I guess, 20. Are we sneaking one in? I guess
probably maybe a Florida State preview at some point.
Yeah, let's sneak in. Yeah, we'll do.
We'll see. It might not be desired. I think There's a lot of letdown Georgia fans right now.
We'll put it this way. This is the last of this section of the season, and then there's a different cadence that comes from there. But we're so grateful for you all for supporting Film Don't Lie. We have a fun time doing this. Brent and I text about this stuff pretty frequently, and just kind of like what we see, what our ideas are, and to see the response from everyone. And Breda Pest Management want to be a part of this, and ASW jumping on board. Connor Grading and Landscaping has done that as well. All those kind of folks. ConnorGrading.com if you want to get your yard all souped up. Really awesome to do that. I'm just kind of like in my feels here because we've wrapped another season and Film Don't Lie has become something that I really look forward to developing, and we're going to continue to do it here. So, Brent, always thankful for you and grateful for you, and you make me sound less dumb than I am, and I get to draw things on a screen. So, together we make a great team, and we're going to wrap.
In the end, we just have fun watching football. Like I said that at the game. I told Jed and Patrick were sitting from the site. We're sitting beside me. I was like, I really enjoyed this way too much.
Yeah. Well, we always do. Thanks for watching.